welcome to my today's presentation, and today we will be focusing on angles. But firstly, we have to know and understand what an angle is and how it looks like. If you can look at this diagram, you can see an angle here, but we have to know why do we call this part an angle. If you can look at this here, we have the rays. You can say it's a ray as it is one. So by defining a ray, I can say it's a set of points where with a defined starting point and no defined ending point, which means it has a starting point which is here, but it doesn't have an ending point. If you can look at this, so I can say it's a vector. In other words, it's a vector. So a vertex is the point where arms of an angle meet. Here we call it a vertex where they meet. So all in all, we can say it's an angle. So now we have to look on the types of angles, which are acute angle, right angle, obtuse angle, reflex angle, and a full rotation. This full rotation, it is also known as a revolution. This revolution word is the one that most of us we use it. So to clarify them, we can clarify them as follows. Let me show you. Let me show you. Here. This one is an acute angle. So an acute angle is an angle that is less than 90 degrees. It is an angle that is less than 90 degrees, which means it can be from 1 up to 89. You shouldn't exceed this 89 part. But for you to be able to see it very well, let me put it here on this 45 degrees. Don't forget, an angle is always measured in degrees. So this one is where we can, this one, when we talk about an acute angle, this is what we are talking about. It looks like this. Then here is where we can find our angle here. So in this matter, our angle will be 45 degrees. Then from here, from acute angle, we will go straight to a right angle. We'll go straight to a right angle. So a right angle is an angle that is equal to 90 degrees. It's an angle that is equal to 90 degrees. Yeah, this way. Here is where we can find our 90 degrees. When they say an angle must be equal to 90 degrees, it means this angle shouldn't be above 90 and it shouldn't be less than 90. It's a must for it to be equal to 90 degrees. Then from a right angle, we will go straight to an obtuse angle. As you know, we have to show them according to their arrangements as they go bigger and bigger. Here is an obtuse angle. How can we classify that this one is an obtuse angle? An obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees and it is less than 180 degrees. What does this mean? It means from 91 degrees to 179 degrees, that is where we can find our obtuse angle. So for you to be able to see that this one is an obtuse angle, I'll put it here so that you will be able to see it very well. Don't forget, this is the part where we are measuring our angle. Here is our angle. So when it is like this, it's an obtuse angle. So from an obtuse angle, we will go straight to a straight line. It's a straight line. But still, it's not a problem to call it a straight angle, because it is also a type of an angle. This one, it's a straight angle. So how do we define it? It's an angle that is equal to 180 degrees. 180 degrees. It means our angle must be straight. It shouldn't have a corner. It must be straight. And that angle is a must for it to have 180 degrees. It shouldn't be less or more. It has to be equal to 180 degrees. So from here, from straight line, we'll go straight to reflex angle. A reflex angle. Here, it's a reflex angle. So how do we classify it? An angle that is greater than 180 but less than 360, which means on our lower part, that's where we can find our reflex angle. So we can put it here. Yeah, I think this one is the better view for it to be able to define or to be able to see that this one is a reflex angle, considering the space that it has opened. So don't forget that this part here is the one that is measuring our angle. This part, we are still continuing with this part here. So this one is an obtuse angle, which means from 181 degrees to 359 degrees. That's where we can be able to find our obtuse angle. So I can't say we can put it here, because it will look like a right angled degrees. But for us to put it here or here so that it doesn't look like an obtuse angle, we have to also show by our, I can say it's an arrow outside here. So to demonstrate the rotation of our ray, we have to demonstrate our rotation of our ray to here. Then from here we will go straight to our last angle, which is revolution. I will use the revolution one, as it is the one that is well known. A revolution is an angle that is equal to 360, which means we will have to put it here. Yeah, here. So to show that it's an angle that is equal to 360, we also have to demonstrate it by a line here. So that is the end of our presentation about the angles. But then, before we go, let's check where we can use these angles in real life situations. Because I believe that most of the things that we learn in school, we also have to apply them in real life situations. So angles are crucial in various fields like architecture. And architects use angles to design buildings, bridges, and structures. Even the roofing, they use the angles, and even to navigation, to determine the directions, the routes, and the positions. That's where we can be able to use these angles in real life situations. So yeah, this is the end of our presentation for today. Thank you for your time.